Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I'm here in this virtual world, but today I'm going to be answering some questions from my parakeet jar of questions and comments. That's right, I have this big jar or bucket thing, I don't know what you want to call it, of parakeet food that is empty and instead filled with comments and questions and things like that. I haven't looked at this in a while. Last time I looked at this, I did the whole video where I was like, oh, I'm gonna, the video ends as soon as, I get recognized, but I'm gonna be answering questions in the meantime. I might do that again, and if you want me to do that again, let me know in the comments below. And I want to do more, Q&As and stuff like that in the future. Perhaps we can do something, where we put a twist on it every now and again. But for the most part, I want to do more Q&A. So if you guys have any questions or things like that you want me to pull out of this, jar of parakeet food and everything like that, then let me know in the comments below. Comment them, questions, give me ideas, questions, whatever. You can send them questions through my Twitter. You can send them in the comments, or you can even ask me on Discord or whatever, and I'll include it in a future video. I really want to, do this perhaps like two weeks, every 2 weeks perhaps, or something like that. So I kind of want to do more Q&As and stuff like that, just because, Q&As are fun. But with all that little hubbalaboo or whatever like that, whatever, what is that word? I don't know what that word is. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this parakeet's jar of questions and comments. I know you guys can hear that. You can hear that, I know you can. But it is my parakeet's jar of questions and comments. Without further ado, let me dig into this here and see what our first little question will be. Oh, this is actually a really small question. It's a really small piece of paper. It says, what was the most sick you ever got? That is actually... I'm starting to think this jar of parakeet food thing is like blessed or something like that, because literally last time I did this I got the most convenient questions ever, and this time I got a pretty convenient question because we're playing VR for this video. But the most sick I ever got was actually most likely... See, that's kind of a little tricky question, because in most recent memory, the most sick I ever got was actually when I tried to play VR for about maybe the second time ever. I was playing this game of all things, and I got pretty sick because movement is a little bit sickening in VR when you first, get into it and everything like that. You got to get used to it. It took me about a month to get used to VR and everything like that. So this is a convenient question, but I think in reality, the most sick I ever actually got was on my 21st birthday. It wasn't actually on my 21st birthday exactly. It was a little bit before then, but I got the flu, and it was real bad. It was real bad. I couldn't physically get out of bed. I was physically, broken. I was like really damaged. I couldn't hardly get out of bed. I couldn't hardly walk. I could hardly even lift my arms. It was real bad. That was the worst sick I ever got. I did end up going to the doctor. It was indeed the flu, and this was actually before COVID and everything like that as well. So it definitely wasn't that. So I'm fine. And this was like several years ago. So. But that was probably the most sick I ever got, was when I had the flu in February, like 2 years ago or something like that. So that's an interesting question, but that's probably the most sick I ever got. Now I don't know the most healthy I ever got. Maybe we'll find that question someday. I don't know, but I don't know the answer to that one. But health is very important. So you guys wash your hands. Drink lots of water, because like legit, water is a blessing, because that stuff is good. That stuff is good. It's good. Drink lots of water, especially if you end up getting sick. Drink lots of water. But anyway, let's get another question here. I keep dropping them. Okay, here we go. Another question. This one is, can you tell me something I didn't know? I could probably tell you several things that you probably didn't know. For example, did you know that the character limit in Ponytown is 68 now? It didn't used to be 68, but it is now. Did you know that there is 64, toys that you can collect in Ponytown during the holiday event? Which actually might end up being inaccurate by the time the next holiday event comes out. I don't know. Hopefully that'll be inaccurate when the next event comes out or whatever. But something specific that you probably didn't know. I can give you some banana facts. So bananas are a really weird thing, because the peel is considered a fruit. The actual banana tree that it grows on is actually technically a herb, but the yellow peel, like the peel of a banana, is actually a fruit because it contains seeds of the plant. So the bananas are a really weird thing where they are a herb, a berry, a fruit, all of that in one. And it's really, really weird. And it's another reason why I love bananas. In fact, another fun fact about bananas is that they come in several colors. There's actually several different colors of bananas, and naturally growing bananas, not the ones that you get at a grocery store, like real ones out in the wild, have thousands, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of seeds inside of them, to the point where every single bite is going to be filled with several seeds. It's insane. It's a cursed image, and I highly recommend you look it up because it is really weird. And there's all kinds of banana facts out there. For example, did you know when you go to the grocery store and you see those like bundles of bananas or whatever, those are actually called hands. They call those hands, and each individual banana on the little hand is considered a different finger. They call it a different finger, and it's such a weird thing. There's so many weird banana facts. But anyway, that's something that you probably didn't know. I hope you didn't know that anyway, because if you did, then that question wasn't answered properly, and you can get mad at me in the comments or something. I'm actually gonna put this one back in the jar later because I might end up answering it again in a future episode. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and dig into this jar and get a third question, shall we? Let's see here. We have, why did you make Birthmark? Okay, so Birthmark is one of my OCs, one of my characters. They are the white horse with the purple hair, the white horn, and everything like that. Black hoodie. You've probably seen him. I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, Birthmark I created. It was actually my first pony OC and everything like that. It was when I was originally getting into My Little Pony, which the reason why I got into My Little Pony is an interesting story in of itself, which I may elaborate on in a future video or something like that. But suffice it to say, I was getting into My Little Pony and everything like that, and I decided, you know what, why don't I just make a character out of this, because this is kind of like the thing that everyone does with this show. I've literally never made another character based on another show or anything like that. I never made like a Ben 10 OC or something like that. I mean, I guess I technically made like Ben 10 aliens that I wanted to see eventually or something like that, but I never really made an OC or anything like that for a cartoon or a show or something else. This was a little bit different though, because I kind of felt like, it made sense to do. So I ended up doing it, and I decided that I would, do something a little bit different, something that probably hadn't been done before. Since I had joined the fandom and everything like that kind of late, I decided that I was going to have it to where instead of, earning your mark and all that mystery and everything like that, I figured it would probably be pretty interesting to have it to where he was actually born with his mark, his little cutie mark, whatever you want to call it. I ended up just calling them marks because I ended up making like a whole book and everything like that. You can get it. You can get that book. It's on Amazon right now. It's called Birthmark. But anyway, I ended up deciding that he would be born with his own mark, and I kind of, the more I thought about it, I was kind of like, that probably really won't work out that well in terms of like originality and everything like that. Plus I wasn't quite sure what the mark would actually mean or what it would even be. I kind of ended up doing different things until I settled on a big dot. But I ended up saying that, maybe there needs to be something more to him. I want a unicorn, so I gave him a horn, because I figured if I personally had become some sort of character in the show, I would probably be a unicorn or something. So I figured I would make him a unicorn. I'd give him some kind of mark that he was born with, and I decided that I would do something a little bit extra different and decide that he would be born with an extra horn at the same time. So he was born with an extra horn and his mark, and so he ends up being this like whole mysterious character and everything like that. So that's kind of why I made him, and sort of like a little bit of the process of making him actually. But I really love this character. He was just pretty cool, and I always thought it would be pretty interesting if somehow he actually appeared in the show at some point, or some sort of version of the character who was born with a mark ended up in the show at some point, and the Cutie Mark Crusaders meet this person because this person is trying to find them and everything like that. He's like, I was born with my mark, I need to figure out what it means and everything like that. I heard about you guys from far away, I need you guys' help and stuff like that. I was kind of hoping something like that would eventually happen in the show, but nothing like that ever ended up happening in the show, which is honestly a little bit of a missed opportunity, to be honest with you, because I really like the idea of there being some kind of episode where it's like, oh, I was born with this mark, I don't know what it means, can you guys help me, that sort of thing. And they honestly, even if they ended up doing it, I think it would have been an interesting twist where it was like, oh, that was actually just a birthmark and not actually your cutie mark, so we need to do these things and unlock your actual cutie mark or something like that, and at the end he actually gets it or something like that. I think that could have been an interesting thing. That's honestly not the case with Birthmark. That mark that's on his flank is actually his mark. It's not some kind of weird thing where it's like, oh, it's just a birthmark. No, he was he was born with that. That's actually his mark and everything like that. But anyway, let's move on to another question. I don't know why I'm answering these so long, why it takes me so long to answer these, but I ramble a lot, and that's just how these go. Anyway, next question. This one is, tell me a story. I don't know if we have time for a story, but I can tell you, I kind of told you a story already. I'm going to put this one back in the jar. We don't have enough time to tell a whole story. So we'll put that one in the jar. We'll cheat a little bit, and we'll get a new question. This question is, who is your favorite superhero? This one is extremely easy, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure why, but the answer is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I don't really see any other heroes being as cool or awesome as Spider-Man and everything like that. Spider-Man is just an awesome character. I really love his powers. He's really interesting and everything like that. He's very relatable to a lot of people, so there's a lot there to Spider-Man and everything like that. And I really love Spider-Man. I've been wanting to get into like some different Spider-Man comics, and I have seen a few and read a couple, but I just don't have time. Yeah, just Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I could probably go on and on and on about Spider-Man, but we don't have a whole lot of time. So let's go on to the next question. And then the next question is, there's a big question mark on the back of it for some reason. It says, when and why did you start playing Ponytown? Because I don't really have the full answer to it. I get this question all the time where it's like, oh, when did you start, playing Ponytown? Why did you start playing Ponytown and everything like that? If I go to my account settings real quick, I can see my my supposed account creation date, which was apparently on the 28th of April, 2018. I honestly kind of only a little bit believe that. I don't fully believe it, because I actually ended up like getting into MLP and everything like that around 2017, like sometime in 2017. And I remember after watching a lot of the show, I was like, hey, I should try and see if there's some kind of game based on, this show, or some kind of fan-made game or something like that that actually might end up being good. My main goal doing that was to find some sort of open world exploration type pony game where I can make my own character, preferably something with 2 horns and a mark and everything like that, birthmark, because they were my only character for a while. And I wanted to find that, and I couldn't find it, and I eventually stumbled upon Ponytown when I was searching pony games, and I signed up, made an account, and just started playing it every now and again. I ended up making some pretty good friends there, and coming back over and over and over again just to try and find those friends. It was well before the friends list was ever even added to the game. And the reason why I don't really necessarily believe the account creation date that's on my account, like the main reason why I don't believe it, is because I like remember things that I have been told I shouldn't be able to remember, because they were updates that happened in 2016 or 2017. Obviously not 2016, but like 2017 and stuff like that. I was like, well, I got into the show around 2017. Maybe I was there for that, and it just doesn't show up right or something. I don't know. And maybe that is the case. I don't know, but I really don't know. But yeah, that's kind of why I got into it, and that's kind of why I started playing it, because I was just looking for a game that would, sort of fit that little theme of that show that I really liked and everything like that. And Ponytown came up, so I started playing that. Anyway, let's move on to this next question. This next question is a big piece of paper. Why is this so big? Oh, this actually has an account name on it. I don't know if it's a Twitter account, a YouTube account, or whatever else, but it says at Fectron86, what are some good house building tips? So apparently they were asking for house building tips. I'm assuming for Ponytown and everything like that. Some tips that I have, I've made a couple of videos on, but something I like to do is sort of plan out my builds before I really get into it. Not necessarily plan out, but sort of sketch it out with floor tiles of some kind, and it will kind of give me an idea of the layout of a house and everything like that. I'll be like, okay, this is kind of the layout I want, so now I can wall it off. Now I can add some furniture. Another big tip, you can make your own furniture using the tools that you have in Ponytown. For example, before we had couches, people would use a handful of walls, some of the cushions that we had, and then boom, they had a couch. Another thing that you can do is you can use the paintings, the ones that are a little bit of round or whatever like that has the pony inside of it. You can use those as sort of a mirror if you want to do some sort of sink or bathroom type thing. You can put a barrel, put that right over it. Make sure you don't, walk underneath the painting or whatever like that. Like walk through the painting, I guess I should say. Do that, and then boom, that looks a little bit like a mirror over a sink. And yeah, that's kind of a few tips there. I can make a whole another video talking about tips and everything like that. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, I think we have time for about one more question. So let's get into this last question. Let's shuffle up the jar a little bit more and get our hands in there and grab one last question. So this last question is, show us your handwriting, coward. That was a comment. But anyway, here is my handwriting. I'll put it up on screen now. It's not the greatest, but I like to write really fast when it comes to writing and everything like that. I definitely don't write in cursive. I haven't wrote in cursive since I was in like the 4th grade. So because school is a lie. If they tell you have to learn cursive, it's a lie. You will never use it at any point other than to sign your name. So cursive is a lie. So I don't use cursive. Cursive is hard and it's annoying and it's near impossible to read 99% of the time anyway. So even if you know how to read all the letters and everything like that, it's just the handwriting for cursive for everyone is terrible. But anyway, this is all in print. That is my handwriting, I guess. I found it weird that some people like say that my R's are wrong. Some people have I've written R's in front of people and people have told me that I'm not writing an R correctly. And I've always wondered why. And I still don't know why. Because if I look at any R ever, that's how it's done. Same thing for F's, like the lowercase f. I've seen people say, why are you writing an F like that? That's not what they look like at all. But you can go to F anywhere, and that's kind of how it is. It's sort of like a little arc with a little cross through it. So it's sort of like an R with a little cross through it, essentially, is what an F is. That's how I draw my F's typically. It's weird. It's a weird thing that people always point out about my handwriting is like your R's and your F's are so weird. Why are they written like that? I can't tell them apart, or this or that or whatever. And I'm always like, but why can't you tell them apart? It's weird. I don't know why I'm like this, and I don't know why other people are like this, but it is what it is. That's my handwriting, and that's just something. I don't know. That's gonna do it for the video. Let me put the cap back on this parakeet's jar of questions and comments, and we'll close off the video. So I do hope that you enjoyed. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I do hope that you guys have some ideas for questions or comments, sort of like this, show us your handwriting, coward kind of thing. If you have anything like that, let me know in the comments below, or tweet at me or whatever like that. I'll write it on a piece of paper with your name on it, and I'll put it in the jar, and perhaps we'll get to it eventually. I have a whole jar here and everything like that. These are jars that I've legitimately gotten over the course of my YouTube life and everything like that. So they've been in this jar for a while. I have no idea what's in there. That's how old it is. But if you have any questions, any comments, anything like that you want me to pull out of this jar, drop it in the comments below or tweet at me at DannyBallSub, and I'll get to it and next week I'll do it again, and then we'll take a break from this for a few weeks, and then we'll do it 2 more weeks in a row, and then we'll do something like that. I think it might be kind of fun to kind of do some Q&As every now and again and everything. So that's gonna do it for the video. Like I said, I do hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, share, and do all of those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful for yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.